Hi everyone, and welcome to Mastering the Motherhood Mindset with me, Grandmaster Mom, Karen Brown. As you can see, I'm sitting out on my deck today and I'm letting my pumpkins dry. These are the pumpkins for our annual trunk or treat event that we have at the studio. And as I was painting the pumpkins, I really thought, it would be a good idea to go over some of the safety tips for all you moms, since we're back in full force. Everyone's going to be out trick-or-treating this year. Well, pretty much everyone. So I wanted to go over some of those tips with you. And I'd like to start with the first tip, and that is to have your child wearing some kind of a reflective tape, or have glow sticks, or a flashlight, or all of the above is really important because, on an average, twice as many children get hit and killed by cars during Halloween than any other time of the year. So that's a really important thing, to make sure that your children can be seen by those drivers out there that are on the road while they're trick-or-treating. So that would be my first thing. Next would be to maybe be creative and try to put your children in some really bright costumes, another way for them to be seen by drivers, and to make sure that your children's costume really fits, because we don't want it to be like a tripping hazard. That's just another accident waiting to happen. So make sure your their costume fits properly. Next would be to, of course, look through their candy. Don't let them eat anything until you've looked it over. And so look for things that, wrappers that are open, something that looks sketchy to you. Don't take any chances. Just discard it if you see any of that. And then especially if your children have allergies or anything like that, make sure you're looking at all the candy wrappers and see what's inside the candy before you actually give it up to your children. And my next tip would be to go trick-or-treating with your children. If your children are under the age of 12, they really shouldn't be out trick-or-treating by themselves. So, join the party, put on a costume, and join in all the fun with your child, and take them out there trick-or-treating together. And as you do that, make sure that they stay on the sidewalks and actually cross the streets in the crosswalk as well. I know they're going to be excited, and your moms out there, how excited they are for trick-or-treat. But just, go over the rules before you go out, staying on the sidewalk, crossing the street in the crosswalks, and staying near, mom and dad. So those are my tips for children maybe under 12 years old. And I'd like to go over some tips for the kids that are a little bit older and that you do allow to go out trick-or-treating with friends. Not alone, but always make sure that they're in a group. My first thing would be, again, go over the rules and kind of maybe map out a route for them to go on, and make sure they have their cell phone. Make sure they have a flashlight. The cell phone shouldn't be used. It should be in their pocket. It shouldn't be used for a flashlight. So make sure that they also have reflective tape and, a flashlight in hand, so they're not using their phone for that. And the phone is in their pocket for emergencies only, and to text you, when they're done, or, in any circumstance where they need to do that. Next thing, don't go up to any cars, right? So make sure that they understand you never go to get candy from a car. If someone drives up and they want your attention, or to come over to them, just yell in your strong voice, "No, I don't want to go in your car." Like I said before, when I did my bullying video, make sure people understand what's going on in the situation. So don't just yell no, add something to that, no, and then run in the other direction. That's when you get your cell phone out, you call your parents, or go to a house that has the lights on, that have people trick-or-treating there, and tell them what's going on. And by alerting everyone, you could save not just yourself, to explain this to your child, you could save not just himself or herself, but someone else who might be in danger that night by that driver. Next thing would be, don't go in anyone's home either for candy, right? You take the candy from outside. When you're done with your route and you're ready to come home, give your parents a phone call, and you'll be there to pick them up. Oh, I almost forgot one more thing. So they shouldn't be opening their candy either. It might not work when you tell them not to eat any of the candy when they're out, trick-or-treating, but explain to them if there's any wrappers that are opened or look suspicious, doesn't matter how much they love that candy, they do not eat that candy. And maybe you can even share which your favorite candy is, and they'll bring some home to you, because I know I like to do that. And then they're less likely to even eat that candy. They might bring it back for you. So those are some of the things that the kids that are older that can go out on their own, those are some of the tips for them. Now, last but not least, us. So if we're driving on Halloween, slow down. Put your lights on early and just be aware put your awareness on top, awareness mode, so that you're looking out for kids that may be darting out into the road and, doing things like that. So just be extra careful. Also, if you're handing out candy at your own house, then make sure you clean up your area in the yard, that the kids are going to be walking through, hoses, anything that they might trip on. Maybe keep the dog gated so that he's not going up to the trick-or-treaters, he or she, your dog. Last but not least, the protocol for, PPP. So all the kids should probably be wearing a mask, even though they're outdoors. If they're going up to houses and they're going to be close with other children at the door getting candy, it's a good idea for them to wear a mask. And then also for us moms or dads that are home handing out the candy, we should also be wearing the masks. We might want to keep our candy outside, so that will it's just safer just to be outside. So wear the masks, everybody, and be safe and have a happy Halloween.